Hello and good morning and welcome back to the Grey Cricketer from the COVID capital of my brain. This is brought to you by ACO, India's leading digital insurance company. I need some insurance because this might be the end for me and Jinx Rahane, maybe Pujara as well. Virat Kohli, what's doing? Pez, how are you?
Hey, mate. I'm well. Yeah, it's a COVID-addled brain I have here. I don't know what that means. Everyone seems to be talking about that. Is there something particular about having COVID that mucks with your brain? Let's hope so, and that it provides some originality to this review.
I'm just using that as an excuse of anything I say wrong. Actually, he goes, Kohli plays 37% of his shots through wide min on, so if you're going to have a podcast, do some research, mate. Sorry, COVID brain. I don't have issues. Give me some things about what happened in this test match, Pez, the second test match. South Africa fighting back.
Hey, mate, it would seem so. India, would you say, bundled out for 202? Can you be bundled? Is that 202? Is that it for 202? Are you bundled in India?
You sort of whimper. You sort of whimper to 202.
Whimper? You whimpered to 202. South Africa 35 for 1 in reply. It's South Africa's day.
Yeah.
I think, he goes, but I say that cautiously. So before we get into what happened today, the first thing we need to talk about is the correct thing to talk about is that Kohli was ruled out just ahead of the game with upper back spasms, handing Rahul the test captaincy. He becomes the 34th test captain for India. I know people tune in to this type of show for that type of information. Because I know he's captain, but what number in the chronology is he of captains? Where did he come in relation to the Nawab of Pataudi? I used to read about him. How can we correlate that to US presidents? Anyway,
they call him Mr. 34.
He goes, when you learned, and you would have learned sort of as breaking news, that Kohli wouldn't be playing and therefore wouldn't be captain and just wouldn't be on the team sheet, did you, like me, feel like Dad was gone? Did you feel like there was a gaping hole in terms of names and safety on that team sheet? Because I scanned down the Indian side. Hey, good players. That's not a pandering comment. Some good players, but this Kohli not there. That gave me the shakes, and I don't think that was COVID inspired. I'm just asking now for the YouTube comments. Was India rocked? Was the nation rocked without Kohli there? How did it feel? What about you?
Last time he wasn't, in a game in a touring party, they did okay, but Rahane was the captain.
When was that?
I think it was in the early part of the 2000s. I think, but Rahane not being given the armband, and it is an armband, so then they can talk to the referees and stuff. Like when he wasn't given, it's like, okay, we're looking at that big old rope that Pujara and Rahane have been given for a long time. Might be shortening a little bit, but they keep winning games, so it's like, well, just keep him in because you back him. You're going to back him, but then Kohli out, and then their choice not to give it to Mafioso Rahane. Maybe he didn't bring his Cheshire cat. I don't know.
Well, I had the same thought, and I don't know why it's lodged in my brain that Rahane is a good captain. I don't know what he's ever done as captain.
I can't think of anything.
I don't know. Yeah, I can't. There's something in the back of my brain, but it's kind of gone. It's like
might be Ranji Trophy.
Like it's a deja vu. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. There's something that tells me he can captain.
Yeah.
But they did remove him from the vice captaincy recently, so they stripped him of leadership. Kind of like access.
They stripped
him. So he was strip searched.
Yeah.
You may hear a child screaming "mummy" there before. That's not a child. That's just my head. It's a different thing going on.
That's a different character that you play sometimes, especially when Kohli doesn't play "Mama."
That's actually my son saying "Mo Shammy," not "Mammy." Quiet, bunny.
When he wrapped Makram up on the pads, Mo Shammy.
Mo Shammy's not in here. Anyway, no, so KO Rahul was next cab as captain because he was vice captain, and it meant Bumrah was vice captain as well, which is pretty cool. And yeah, no, I mean, I think you're right. Everyone just got on with it as they did. So, so the day's play, he goes. Jansen, I thought, led the way for South Africa, but he was ably supported by all of the quicks, really. Actually, Lungi didn't end up with a wicket, but he bowled quite well. And Rabada and Dwan Oliver with 3 each. Now, just to sort of go into the chronology of the day's play, can I say a couple of things? So, I thought Agarwal and KL Rahul started well, and Agarwal in particular just dealing in boundaries. Yep. Look, I don't know about you, he goes. I really don't know about you, but I don't know if it was something about the colour settings or the particular colour settings of Joburg. You know, we like to talk about the hue of the Gabba and just different hues generally. Yeah. And I've got
Hugh Grant, Hugh Jackman,
red, green, colourblind, and also yes, Hugo,
Hugh Laurie.
Yeah.
Hugo Weaving.
Yeah. That's exactly right. What was the and then Hugo's in King's Cross for a pizza.
Yeah, that's right. Hugh Jardine.
Now anyway, I don't know about whether there was a Hugh thing for you, but like the new ball looked very new to me. Like a very, very deep red contrasting with the white of the stitching. And when that happens, you know, it's frightening, but all my senses were like amplified. And I thought that the ball behaved like, I'm not saying the ball wasn't true. Like the ball had truth with the way it was behaving, but it had like an ADD quality to it. Right. You know? And ADD is a controversial disorder, you know, is it over-medicalized? Is it actually a superpower for people? So, and I just thought that's the way the ball behaved throughout the day. I'm saying I'm not sure whether 202 is a good score or not yet. But anyway, the Indian openers, a couple of boundaries early, they were looking okay, but South Africa kept the ball up there and eventually got their rewards. Jansen nicked off Agarwal. Fucking, who's the new keeper? I don't even know how to say his name. Varane? Anyway.
Raphael Varane.
It was Raphael Varane. Fresh from defeat overnight, and also keeping for South Africa. And then, you know, that brought Pujara to the wicket. 33 balls for 3. And the 33 balls did not look convincing. He ends up fending one that seems to kick a bit off the deck, but where was he? He's not forward. He ain't back. And then the next ball, Rahane, Jinx, Mafioso, same-ish scenario, fending, trying to come forward, can't.
I thought Pujara, front on, for some reason, Pujara's looked like it did sort of spit, but then the side on angle looked like it didn't. Now, he's a test match batter. I'm sure it bounced more than what he was expecting. So you give him that, and like how often does a guy get caught at point when he's sort of a number 3 test match batter fending away, caught at point, doesn't happen. But so I can sort of maybe give a bit of leeway to Pujara. But Rahane's shot, first ball, I reckon Rahane is right on the brink of fucking horse's head in the bed shit. Like, I think he's...
Wow.
I reckon... You know what? They keep winning.
We're going to come to it.
They keep winning, but I think he's dead man walking just about. Yeah, go on.
The wicket had some serious life, I thought, and yeah, South Africa got their rewards just before lunch and kind of continued on, really. I thought KL Rahul looked really good for his 50, captain shit, dad stuff, compact. Is KL Rahul going to the next level in terms of all 3 formats? You know, like he's we've never talked about him as a big boy. That's premature chat. The KL Rahul's a big boy, but there's this, he seems to be adding a consistency to his game, a prolificness to his game that we hadn't seen before. You know, I know his test average kind of reflects that. He's also across a couple of formats. I'm just saying, watch this space on KL Rahul going to next level. There's something about the way it's all compacted and working in flow together. I'm just keeping an eye on it.
I think
objectify him.
I think with India, like we were saying this last test, that they keep winning these games without really anyone having fucking standout run scoring season like we've seen in the past with maybe Misbah ul Haq or Joe Root or Ponting or even Kohli. You know, so that they're winning all these games. But KL Rahul has been their most consistent batter since he's come back into the Test team a year ago, the beginning of the England tour, right? But mate, he looks so good at the moment, and he's just in control of his game. Tough gig opening the batting, I would imagine, in Test cricket, not having done it myself just yet, not selected. But mate, he looks fucking good. And also he had the thing with Cameron Green where he wished him good luck before his ODI debut last year. So that scares the shit out of us.
Shit, so
what are we supposed to do with that?
branding stuff as well.
Yeah, exactly.
What are you supposed to do with that?
Exactly. Mate, how does Kohli injure spasms in his upper back? I've never seen spasms in upper, like lower back, sure. Upper back, I mean, I don't know. I mean, insert joke here about the BCCI
you've seen a lot of spasms in your time?
Yeah. I've seen some spasms, mate.
Mate, more than you've had hot dinners. Yeah, I don't know how you get them in your upper back. No idea. I'll have to ask Errol Alcott.
Thanks. The physio from the 90s.
I mean, at this point, got to remark on the South African quicks. They looked good, you know. I'm kind of reserving a bit of judgment on the deck. There was an MCG in terms of like the last test there, MCG quality to it. There's just nicks flying everywhere, a lot of inside edge, a lot of short leg in play, a lot of stuff going over gully, some spectacular catches as well. Van der Dussen, I think's under the lid, taking one there. It was at and then Rabada at fine leg. Yeah, Rabada at fine leg off, I'd call that long leg, to get rid of KL Rahul as well, coming in. And then, and obviously Jansen is, 11 foot. Dwan Oliveira isn't a small bloke either. You know, man, he's the, I read in CricBuzz that he is the second quickest in Test history to 50 wickets overnight. Just after Vernon Philander. Dwan Oliveira, mate. The famous.
Really?
Second quickest. 1,400 balls or some Equinox shit. I don't know.
Well, that snuck up on me, so I'm not sure I rate it.
He's had 3 years out on a Colpack deal, so he started his Test career.
That's right.
3 years Colpack, come back. He's called it like another debut, and he's just kicked off again with Freefa. People were asking why I didn't play in the last Test. He had COVID. He revealed overnight, and he was recovering, and that's why I've not been able to play as well at the SCG.
That's true.
At the SCG, actually, Travis Head's not playing. He's got COVID. Doesn't have any symptoms, but anyway, that's neither here nor there.
Mate, you're so right, mate. South Africa's catching yesterday was sensational because there was also another really good caught and bowled. Who did KG C and B? Shami. That mate, that was sharp.
He shoveled one back.
He got the buckets around that. And then Bavuma almost took a screamer off Ashwin. Right. He dropped that, but then he also dropped Vihari really badly. But my highlight of the day was Van der Dussen under the lid off Vihari again. That was off Rabada by that, didn't he? Because like his helmet came off when he took the catch, and it's like, he's been decapitated, but he's taken the grab, so job done.
Did I catch it? Yes, but you lost your head.
Just like Rahane.
Ashwin. He played some great shots through the onside. That was a really good innings, when you and we won't know what 202 means until tomorrow, really.
Lacks meaning.
Tomorrow. But he 46 from 50. That's a very, very valuable contribution at that point in the order, playing aggressively. So well played, Ashwin. Electric outfield, I thought he goes. Everything about Joburg just seemed, everything's just on, everything is just charged there. I thought the ball was a deeper red. It was behaving with ADD. The outfield's really quick. Everything kind of, normally you associate that with runs galore, but it seemed a very spicy place to bat. So maybe 202 is a good innings. I'm reserving judgment. I'm saying that for the third time.
When Gavaskar was on, our close personal friend Sonny Gavaskar was on comms.
Yeah, Sonny, son.
He was Sonny son.
Japanese convention. We sort of meet halfway.
Yeah, that's right. Sort of East meets West kind of gear, but for twos. He was talking about how Ashwin apparently used to be an opening batter in club cricket. That's what Ashwin used to do, and he used to bowl a bit of offies. And then I was reading this morning that Ashwin said like he's just stopped worrying about his technique. And so, I mean, these guys just play so much cricket. I'm just gonna open the batting club cricket. Nah, boss, we'll swim 500 test wickets and that. I'm not gonna worry about batting anymore. Just gonna hit some runs. 46, just near enough run a ball. But Ashwin's batting's getting better.
He's a good bat, isn't he?
I know, yeah. I know he's got 5 test tons, but like, you think about what he did at the SCG against us, like just saving the game. But mate, he played an on drive today off might have been Ngidi. Like, he's good. He's a good player. Not sure what he's like as a bloke.
It's almost as though he's a good player. It's almost as though he's one of the greats of the game.
Well,
and his
those are your words.
Yeah. It's just sometimes he can't get in the side for reasons that seem divorced from numbers.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Back spasms.
South Africa, they had a poor test in the first test. Then Quinton de Kock retired, and I thought this was a good comeback from all of that. You know, tours can go. Oh, not tours, sorry, but test series can fall away from you pretty quickly in those scenarios. So to whimper India out for 202 is a good effort. And the other concerning one, he goes from India perspective, is that Siraj went off with a string.
Yeah, he went off with a string.
They don't have him at the moment. We don't know how bad it is or any gear like that.
I read.
And, that
I read this morning that I read this morning that Ashwin said that he's hoping that he can bowl today. So I mean, it's not really. They just hope he can bowl today. But it sounded to me like they are hopeful that he will bowl today. Yeah, there's that, mate. I thought that this South African team, there's something very likable about this South African team. Like, in my lifetime watching South Africa play, they've just always had somewhere between 2 and 11 coats in their team that basically just mirror the Australian team, but we don't like when they play how we play. Yeah. Exactly. So, but like this team led by Dean Elgar, and I think Bavuma is like, I mean, how he spoke about the de Kock thing and the BLM thing during the World Cup, I think he led that team with great distinction. There's a whole bunch of young guys who haven't like developed their like aggression and ego. Rabada seems to be coming into his own in terms of a leadership thing, having played all around the world, IPL including that. There seems to be a great level of like that. Like I seem to like a lot of these South African guys, like Van der Dussen. I've always liked Markram. They seem to be a likable South African team, which is a foreign concept to me. What do you think about that?
I'm happy, mate. I'm happy for you. I'm happy if you can look through the TV and go, they seem likable, these blokes. And they may or may not be. I don't know.
I tell you what, if one of these coats does one thing wrong, I'll fucking burn them.
How, mate? Just with a YouTube comment or something?
A couple of tweets.
I know why you might like Aiden Markram, because though he was gone early in the game, in South Africa's innings, mate, have the pipes looked better? I know he's had them for a long time, but fuck, those pipes are really bursting out. He hit a pull shot off Shami before Shami got him next ball. But when you hit a pull shot, that's when you can see the quality of the pipe at full flexion. And he's obviously tightened the shirt around it as well. He's got the full setup, half the pipe sticking out. You know the formula. And, for an opener, it's a pipe. You want openers to have pipes for intangible intimidation purposes, etc. And he's really delivering on that front. Thoughts?
Never looked better. Looking juicy, looking thick. Wouldn't mind seeing some runs from it. But you know what? Probably a pretty tough job facing the extra new ball against Shami et al.
All right, here goes. Let's just talk about it specifically. The third one is the old bloke woes continue. So I'm talking about Pujara and Rahane. So they went in consecutive balls. Their numbers aren't great. They're averaging in the 20s for the last fucking X amount of tests or whatever. Yeah, a couple of wins here and there. You've got to understand how Pujara bats. And look, I actually admire that they've been given every chance to rescue the situation. And that's I think that's a sign of no panic from India, particularly when they're winning and they respect these guys. They want to make sure that they're able to show that, whether or not they're able to keep doing it at this level. I like the composure from India generally to keep them going. However, those positions in Indian cricket, 3 and 5, there's some good sticks around in Indian cricket. There's some really good bats. And I think, I'm not going to say my own view on it. I'll take VVS Laxman's, which is, he was saying that he felt Shreyas Iyer should have continued into the side following what he did against New Zealand, where he debuted, he made 100, he batted well under pressure in the next test as well. Rahane is keeping him out. And Rahane is not the vice captain anymore. You can't pick him just because he's in a leadership position. So he's essentially having to stay in the side off the back of his own performances. And those performances, I'll put it this way. He scored some runs in the first test. Obviously, I have a goldfish brain, so I can't remember how many it was. But, who's more likely to score 100? Who's more likely to win the match for you? Shreyas Iyer, Jinx Rahane. They've got West Indies and Bangladesh coming up, India. I'd suggest that's a really good time to bring in the next generation or whoever's gonna come next. It's far be it from me to, say, listen, sorry, Jinx, horse's head on your bed, you're out. But I'm just saying they've got some really good players that are exciting, and I think it's a good time to blood them.
Yeah. Both Pujara and Rahane are 33, 34 this year, 2022. Look, I suppose like the absolute elites can play at the top level until they're 36, 37. You might get the odd guy.
That's an absolute elite.
That's exactly. So best case scenario, they rescue this series for themselves. I mean, and they get themselves to another Indian summer. They get Australia, and then what? I don't know. It's unlikely that they can turn around and get back to the peaks of what they were to averaging into the 40s like they do. I don't really see it when the decline has been quite steep for so long. They still show flashes. They've got the grit. They've got the muscle memory to still perform at test level. But the ceilings now of a Shreyas Iyer, Sky, maybe even. I mean, to your point, there are so many guys that can bat for India. Do you need these guys? Do you need the experience? Does Kohli need the experience? Maybe he does. I'm not sure. But it also hurts that Kohli has also had a dip the last almost 3 years now, where he hasn't scored the runs that he would have liked to as well. So it all hurts. So you need young blood in there. If you got guys who can do it, who have high ceilings, what are you hanging on for? It's legacy stuff, and it's unlike India. And that's why I think that Rahane and Pujara, they might be playing for their spots in the third innings of this game, I reckon.
On the other hand, what about their names? Like Pujara, Rahane. Do you know, for a long time I didn't even know what Rahane looked like. But I knew the name. It's like, and this is, that'll furrow brows, but like...
Well, that was a witness protection thing.
And I can't say anything more about that specifically, but just Rahane. It's a classic Indian name to me, Rahane. It's a name in the paper. Or how did A. Rahane go? Oh, more runs for him. That's what it was for about 6 years. Like for me, with Indian cricket, A. Rahane runs. Oh, God, he's a gun. I've got no idea what this coat looks like.
Yeah.
Now I know what he looks like. Very soft eyes, sunken eyes, eyes that have a story, but gentle at the same time, but intimidatingly gentle. And I'll always respect that. I'm just saying, it doesn't, no one's proved themselves. You prove yourself every game. He needs 100. It shouldn't. It's. I don't think it's more complicated than that.
No. Well, I think it's interesting as well, Pez. I don't think they'll drop them together, even though I've just suggested that. I mean, they wouldn't drop Pujara and Rahane in the same test match, would they? That's losing a lot of experience. That's a risk to me. So Pujara might slightly have the runs on the board. He's got a high test average. I don't know. I think that they're both teetering.
It's interesting though, isn't it, mate? Because like I agree. I think Pujara's numbers are slightly better and may have played slightly more instrumental, influential innings in Indian wins. I remember a couple in England in particular. But by the same token, India seemed to be very disproportionately overstocked for top order batters at the moment as well.
Yeah.
And so I know they've got a couple of middle order as well, don't get me wrong, but there are so many openers who are looking for a gig in that Indian side. I mean, I could see a KL Rahul drop down to 3, for example. You couldn't tell me that, like, down the track, what about Prithvi Shaw, Shubman Gill, Rohit Sharma is to come back. You've got Agarwal averaging 47 and Pujara's there at 3. I mean, there's some pretty good arguments that there are 3 sticks in there that could occupy those top 3 positions, and Pujara's not in that top 3 at the moment.
Yeah.
It's a bit of legacy stuff. It's a bit of safety stuff. It's a bit of dad stuff. Hey, I'm all for it, but it can't last forever. Hashtag AskTGC. He goes, all thanks to our dearest friends at ACO. Unapologetically Cricket writes in. I think it's a podcast. It's at UC Podcast. There's a plug. So apparently, look, this is a quote. This is something that happened on the field. Allegedly, I'm just reading what's been written to me. May or may not have happened. Rabada's bowling. Bumrah says to Siraj. Now this is written in Hindi, I think, but then it's translated. So Bumrah apparently says to Siraj, "Listen, it might look like he's bowling fast, but he isn't." And then the following ball, Siraj was caught down the leg side. So the question is, does the wicket change things, or did Bumrah alpha KG Rabada? I think both can be true because Bumrah didn't get out. I think Bumrah's kind of alphaed everybody there. There's three characters in this. Rabada gets the wicket, so I think Siraj ends up bottom of that alpha pile. Rabada's next. He's second because he gets the wicket of Siraj. And then I think Bumrah's alpha all because Bumrah has said that Rabada's slow. Picked it up on Stump Mic, so the world's heard that. So billions of people have heard that. And Bumrah remained in. And didn't Bumrah actually hit him for 6 as well?
Yeah. He went 6-4.
That's how I see that. Yeah.
6-4-4? 4-6-4? Yeah. How does Bumrah score runs? It's bizarre. He's got 50. I don't know. Well, thank you very much, Pez. Thank you very much, everyone out there, for watching. Day 2 starts in about 10 minutes. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Cheers.